A little set. X-Files, right?
What's up, guys? Young Bucks, Old Goats, episode 69. Nice. And that is Big Daddy. What's this dude's name? Big Daddy. What's his name?
Lanny.
It's just Big Daddy, right?
Big Daddy, yes, Big Daddies.
So we are back, and I want to get into a little bit of the conspiracy shit, a little bit of the UFO stuff, throw in a little 911, sprinkle a little Vegas shooter on top, and then we're just going to get into some wacky stuff here. All for entertainment. I obviously, we all believe the official story on all of these cases, I'm sure. But there's a lot of things that make you go, And what's exciting for me, semi-exciting, it's like exciting and disappointing at the same time. There's a lot of UFO stuff. It's kind of been like ramping up over the last year. We got those videos that the Pentagon released last year, the Tic Tac, not TikTok, Tic Tac, and the gimbal video. And then we had that dude from Israel who was part of their government, and he came out and he said, he said a lot of wacky shit, that there's a base on Mars and we have contact. Trump knows about it. And then snuck into the COVID bill, there was some shit that was snuck into this last COVID bill that said they have 180 days to declassify whatever they know about UFOs. And then this week, a website called the Black Vault. Maybe you could fact check me on that, Tank. The Black Vault.
I heard about that.
Yeah, they received a bunch of documents through a Freedom of Information Act. And I read some of the documents. It kind of looked like, say I was a rocket scientist and you were a janitor and I gave you my notes. You wouldn't know what the fuck to make of them, probably, right? That's kind of what the fucking documents look like to me.
Wow. Does that mean, like, what was it, like mathematical equations or discussing like weird science topics, that quantum physics, or what was it?
What I mean is it was it was not very understandable. A lot of shit was like Sharpied out that you couldn't read it.
Redacted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in mainstream media, if something good were there, and I haven't read all the documents, it was supposedly thousands of documents, it would have come out already, right? Like in a headline, and it hasn't, so like not that exciting, which kind of leads me to believe that's probably a prelude to what we will get in the next 180 days. Then there's another school of thought that says, oh, the shit's ramping up. Maybe we're getting towards at least getting some truth out there, and maybe some, maybe they're reaching a point where they're like, man, maybe we should cooperate with people and governments and agencies and see what we can make of all this weird shit that has been happening. You guys kept up with any of this shit?
No.
A little bit. I mean, just seeing that, the 180-day window that they've given to release documents. And, I think you and I talked a little bit about, is that just another way to string us along and make us, think that there's something, and they're just kind of pushing the subject down the road and keeping us interested, but not really giving us anything? Is that part of the plan? I don't know.
You think there is a plan?
If there is a plan, right?
What's the point
of doing all that?
Yeah, well, what's their
end game? What's the end game?
Yeah, why are they doing this?
Like, I guess the classic thinking around that, the reasons that has been given for that charade or the game or whatever is they don't want to admit, what basically is a threat to us, really, right? At the end of the day, if we have people like flying in from God knows where, in and out of time and all that, we're basically vulnerable, right? And part of the talk there has always been, well, they don't want to admit that those things exist because they would have to admit that there's nothing we can really do about it, right? We're kind of screwed, right? If they are hostile, we're done, right?
If you figure they could come here, they could probably take us out.
Exactly. So there's that. There's the defense-minded side of it that says, well, maybe they've contacted us, but not our enemies. Maybe these are our enemies and not aliens, and we can't figure out what they are. And it would be embarrassing if we came out and thought that they were aliens when it's really the Russians, So that would be embarrassing, right? And, there's other thoughts, more conventional, that believe that, releasing that information, like, blows up a lot of other theories, possibly religion, God, creation, things that this civilization has been built on would be devastated by such information. So those are all the angles or excuses, right, that they use for that.
Very interesting. I don't know, dude. I haven't been around as long as some of you guys, but it certainly seems like if you're a fan of this type of thing, it seems to be like an interesting time. Not that we're going to get any revelations, but at least maybe to get some more information, some more. What do they know? What have they not told us, or maybe we're just the same as we are before that. Who knows? Maybe it's just a bunch of files of kooky people telling kooky stories. But I'd at least like to see it. I think the people deserve to at least know. What do you know?
Right. Or at bare minimum, right? It's some type of phenomenon. Let's pretend that there isn't no such thing as aliens. It's some type of phenomenon that they can't explain, right? That there isn't a scientific explanation, that there isn't something that they go, oh, it's this. For them to keep it as an open item, as something that needs to be further investigated, means they don't know, right? Why is that? Usually we're able to figure everything out. We're able to explain why something happens, scientifically, right? The fact that maybe they can't explain these things, maybe is not just that they're aliens, but maybe they're natural phenomenons that they just can't explain.
I hadn't thought about that. That's definitely, something, there's crazy I mean, dude, if you believe in, because I know my boy Hialeah, he will be the guy to say, that's so sci-fi, dude. That's so sci-fi. That can't be. But dude, if I tell you that the universe came from a little fucking thing that I can put in my finger like this and it just fucking expanded, that's fucking sci-fi right there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But science has gotten behind that theory and people have, accepted that theory, but that's fucking crazy too. So maybe there's some crazy shit going on with what people have been seeing that we just don't know yet, that we haven't put our finger on.
Go ahead, Hialeah.
Go.
Well, I was going to say, and some sides that you wouldn't expect to support some of this has used it to explain their own point of view. What I mean by that is religion saying, well, those are angels. Those are prophets. Those are, that they're not aliens, but they're, religious entities or divine entities, right? Some kind of organizations or philosophies have taken that to explain their own position.
Well,
not as much.
Most churches are into prophets, but it's these kind of prophets. that they're really into. What'd you have to say, Hialeah?
First of all, I was a little offended with the text that you sent me, to be quite honest. And you already hit me with
I did not see it.
Hialeah with his, but Randy sent me a text, please keep an open mind. Dude, I always have an open mind. It's just because I don't agree doesn't mean that I don't have an open mind. But
well, let's prove that for a second. Okay? I'll let you finish, and then I want to ask you a series of questions.
Well, you were saying, the theory about, it expanded. That's what they think, but that's still a theory, that could be proven wrong. It's not that's the way it happened. Nobody knows.
That's true.
It's just a guess. It's just an educated guess.
But a well-accepted theory.
It is.
Hypotheses.
It is, because it's we want an answer to everything, right? And that answer sounds kind of plausible. So you know what? Let's go with that until somebody else comes up with something that makes a little bit more sense, and then we'll go from there.
But what gives you a little reassurance of some of those theories that they aren't based on magic or any, there's
of course,
right, there's some science, right? There's atoms, there's explosions in the universe and matter and all these different scientific properties that they could tie it to versus it's like a shining light in the sky.
Exactly. Even though it does sound science fiction, but it's science, and it's
If you were to tell that story to a little kid, they'd be like, "That's crazy, dude. We came from a tiny little fucking thing that and now it's insane."
Bro, you tell them a man comes down the freaking chimney with a bag of freaking toys, dressed in a red freaking thing, and he's got a beard, and they is like, oh my god! And then I remember my parents used to tell me the story. He used to shrink and come through under the door if you didn't have a chimney.
Oh yeah,
I believe that hook, line, and sinker. So yeah, kids would believe that. Kids would believe that.
They had to have an alternative explanation for the lack of chimneys in Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you saying? That's not real? Is that what you're saying?
I'll never say that.
What do you mean? What?
Santa's not real?
I'll never say. I didn't say that. I'm just telling you the stories my parents told me.
What are you, the fucking Grinch, bro?
Yeah,
No.
bro.
All right, look, hey, just to know what we're dealing with here.
Right?
Just to know what we're dealing with here.
What do you mean? What we're dealing with?
You. That's what I'm talking about. You. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions just so we know what team people are on here. Real quick. You're going to give me a percentage. The higher the percentage, the more likely for this conspiracy theory to be true. The lower, the less likely.
Okay.
All right?
Go for it.
Number one, man landed in the moon.
100% it happened.
100% it happened. Now, you don't even have, you will not even leave 1% on that one.
We made it.
Wait. We made it, or are we talking about the pictures that we got?
No, we made it. We made it to the moon.
In general? Or that?
Oh, what does we made it to the moon mean? If we made it to the fucking moon, not in general, not in a piece.
Oh, when fucking Neil Armstrong went, bro. It's two different things.
Man went to the moon.
Yes.
All right.
Move on. Next question.
Next question. 9/11 was an inside job.
No.
I didn't ask no. I said percentage.
I would do 95%.
You're leaving 5% open for that it was an inside job.
Yes.
All right. JFK was shot by Oswald by himself. Rogue dude, just fucking doing rogue shit, kills JFK.
20%.
You're saying you believe that to be 20% true?
Yes.
So you think 80% other shit could have happened?
Yes.
Okay, you like this one. Maybe we should just focus on that one.
By the way, I tried to ask the GOAT a series of questions like this. He would not answer me.
I'll
I'm doing it live.
I'll answer anything. I don't care. Aliens exist, and we've had some sort of contact with them or their craft.
That's kind of like multiple questions.
Okay, so if I say 100%, it means I believe that. Correct?
Yes.
0%.
So there is not even a chance that an alien craft has crashed here, much less aliens themselves, much less contact. Nothing has ever come here from other planets, from other civilizations. 0%.
0%.
Wow. All right. I don't even think I need to go on. You only seem to like the JFK one. What are some other popular conspiracies, Bum, that are out there?
Wow, those are the. Well, I guess Corona is going to be the next one, right?
That one has so many branches, though.
Yeah,
right?
and that may overtake everything.
Simulation.
Right now, those are kind of like the
Simulation, flat Earth.
Well, okay, well, yeah. There's the flat Earth.
Flat Earth, I'll give it a 0, and I'll answer for Hialeah. 0.
I think every assassination that has ever occurred of anybody, there's a conspiracy theory. So I mean,
yeah, yeah.
The flat Earth, I don't get the end game on that. Well, who benefits? Why?
Somebody's right and somebody's wrong, I guess. I don't know.
But I'd like to get a flat earther to explain to me the reason that they tell us the earth is flat is so we won't fall off the edge of it. Well, you know, only my boy over here, Captain Tank Sparrow, maybe could run into a problem with that. But for the ordinary guy, we're not fucking on a fucking pirate ship going to the edge of the fucking earth to fall off or hit the ice.
I think a lot of people who push that one push the idea that we're constantly being lied to and that nothing is really true.
Yes.
Yeah.
That in essence, and I always say this, if you believe all of these conspiracy theories, you have to believe we're in the simulation now, right? Because it means everything that we know is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Simulation theory. Give me a percentage on that one.
0%.
You're consistent.
But, you know, I'm the guy, I love science fiction. I love comic books. I'm into all that. But I don't believe this shit.
But you can't be sure of any of them. That's where I find.
I'm pretty sure. In my mind, I'm sure. It just.
But you have no proof of any of these.
I'm not a scientist going out. It's just what I believe. Prove me wrong.
Right.
No, I'm not. But there's things I believe, dude. I believe the Dolphins are going to win a Super Bowl before I die. But I don't have any fucking proof of it either, though. So, like,
that's more wishful thinking. I hope one day the Raiders win another Super Bowl. I wish.
And that's also playing the probabilities, right?
Exactly, and you're playing the odds.
It's not something that is completely impossible.
So, dude, you are gonna fucking lose your wig if they ever fucking come out and say, you know what? Yeah, man, we have this fucking spaceship. We found it.
No.
You said 0%. How are you not gonna?
I don't believe it's. But I'm not gonna go crazy. Oh my god, I was wrong. That would be freaking amazing if it's true. But I don't believe it is because I haven't. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, oh shit. You know, if it's proven and freaking aliens land down and like fucking Twilight Zone and all that shit, I'd be freaking out too. But that hasn't happened.
Of course not. Yes,
so,
we would have known. This would have been a different show.
You know what? I would freak out just like everybody else, bro.
But you more than anybody else because you're at 0%. You would fall off your rocker.
No, dude, no. But
well, I don't know. When I think 0% and then it goes totally the other way, I gotta be shocked. You gotta be shocked.
All I was saying was, you know what? I was wrong. It's not a big shit. I'd be freaking out. I wouldn't be like, I knew it, because you know that shit's gonna happen. I knew it.
Well, you can't say that.
I wouldn't be saying that.
This
Okay.
is where. This is where.
I would say, "Oh shit, it's true." Oh my god.
I've proven my point. We can go on.
This is where Go Pen Studios has to pay the talent a lot of money to put up with the UFO show, right?
We're not going to discuss his contract. He has the same agent as Xavier Howard. He has a contract. He has to sit through the show.
This is where like his contract is backloaded to put up with the alien show.
Hey, listen, there's exciting things happening. We got a signal from Proxima Centauri, which is the nearest habitable star. Anybody heard about this?
Yeah, I did.
That could be interesting. That could be something. They did say, I play both sides. It could have been, some feedback or some other shit, but still, it's something interesting.
It is interesting.
A Harvard professor just recently, this is part of that whole, ramping up that I think is happening of maybe some revelation coming up. A Harvard professor said some alien debris passed real close to Earth in 2017. You guys heard about that one?
Doesn't that happen quite often?
Alien debris?
Okay, wait. What do you mean by alien debris? What kind of alien debris?
Like a meteorite, an asteroid?
Alien technically means foreign. No?
Yeah, but what? An asteroid? We get hit by asteroids and meteors all the time.
Right.
Tank, maybe you can check that out, what exactly he meant by alien debris. It's a Harvard professor, and he said in 2017, some alien debris passed real close to Earth.
Okay,
you will be the first fucking guy I call when we find out about
Does
some
this Harvard professor have like a fucking gigantic freaking telescope or whatever? Or he's just some guy in Harvard, because I saw this thing where I think the Chinese just got one of the biggest ones, and it's freaking massive, and they could look up and see everything. Why aren't they saying that shit?
Well, it was in 2017.
Okay, but still, why is it a guy in Harvard? What's that? What is that? New York, right? That's up in the Northeast?
Yeah.
I believe that's Boston, right?
Boston, okay. Is there big telescopes up in Boston?
I think there's probably a couple of observatories around there, but I don't know them.
But you said they're like in Arizona or something, no?
It says that
they have them on the West Coast and on the East Coast, I think.
Tank has some information here. Go ahead, Tank.
It says it was they called it an object that he believes was alien.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next.
It was cigar shaped, was seen by telescope, and was dubbed Oumuamua, meaning a messenger that reaches out from the distant past in Hawaiian. They said that it was 10 times as long as it was wide and traveled at 196,000 miles per hour.
All right, Randy, next.
So it wasn't a comet. It wasn't. They were saying that it was 10 times as long as it was wide. It was a stick.
He's in fucking timeout, dude. All right.
You're gonna lose him. I don't think the contract is gonna hold.
We have a deal. He's gonna stay. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! We're playing music. There we go.
There we go.
Back to normal.
All right.
Can't mess up the Matrix.
It's a Harvard professor, bro.
Then it's true. There's aliens. There's proof.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the shift that I've seen. Call me whatever you want. The shift that I've seen in the last 2 years has been from Billy Bob in his barn seeing lights to Air Force pilots, air commanders, government officials, professors, other people presenting information that is not just coming from some bum.
Randy, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, because this has happened before. It happened in the 70s.
Go ahead, Walter.
In the 80s. They're holding a freaking UFO like a carrot in front of everybody's. Look, in 180 days, we're going to know. Oh, shit, the carrot, look.
But why, bro? Why?
6
to
months.
us?
6 months are gonna pass and it's gonna be the same shit, bro.
Why? To distract us?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, then you're a flat earther right now. If if you're not telling me why, you're just a flat earther.
Dude, because people are wondering. It doesn't mean they're gonna give you an answer in 6 months.
But why are they doing that?
I don't know. I don't have
because of the election.
That may be why.
Smoke and mirrors.
A distraction, yeah. It's the carrot. They're holding a carrot. Hey, look over here while this is happening over there.
Yes. While what's happening, while people are being, while fucking social media platforms are being taken off completely, people are being taken off because the people don't like what people are saying. Dude, whatever side of the spectrum you're on, political wise, I think it's a bad fucking move that these tech companies have. They have all the fucking power to say, we don't like that, you're out. We don't like that, you're out. We don't like your thing, get out. All of you, not just you, everybody. Everybody that's on here.
I absolutely agree that that's a dangerous thing, and I think it's only adding gas to the fire, and it's going to radicalize more people into believing, whether true or not, that those intentions are malicious, communist, totalitarian, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's going to make more radicals than not.
Yes. It's fuel to the flames, bro. It's just fuel to the flames.
And this impeachment, again, believe whatever you want. Why are we impeaching this dude again? Why are we spending money on that again? When if you have any fucking money right now, if you have any fucking money, give it to the people. Give it to the restaurant owners that can't. You're telling them that they cannot even. You cannot do business. Give it to them, dude. Don't send gender study money to India. Don't fucking. Why are you impeaching this guy when he's going to be out and out? I think that's a move for 2024 to stain him for 2024.
Right. Yeah. So
whether you like him or not, I don't care. I hope that president wins every year. Whoever.
So if I was the devil's advocate and I was to explain why that is happening on both sides, right? So the thought on one side is that this president did something, and we're trotting on very dangerous, controversial topics here. This president did something that needs to be, he needs to be held accountable for, and we need to send a message to future presidents that this kind of behavior is unacceptable. That's one thought, right? The other thought is that there was 75 million people that voted for this guy. He's got followers that are willing to attack the birth of democracy, the capital of the greatest country on the earth
ever,
in my opinion. And they need to shut him down via Twitter and to impeach him to make sure that he is never able to run for office.
Yeah, I think that's the reason.
Those are the two sides, right? Those are the two sides.
I'll add, dude, it's not just Twitter. Twitter, Facebook,
yes.
YouTube, Shopify, even Shopify, like he can't even sell his shit.
Pinterest,
I heard he got banned from Google too.
Google.
What is that thing called? Pinterest or something?
Yeah.
He's basically out of everything.
He can't even search up something on Google if he needed to.
Right. Now, again, one side will say is because his rhetoric is dangerous and incites violence, and the other side will say is because he's speaking the truth and they're trying to shut him down. And see, when the opinions are so drastic, there's no common ground there. How do you resolve that? You don't.
The bottom line is we're all going to lose.
Yes.
No matter who wins there, we the people are the ones that lose.
I think that's accurate. I think that's accurate.
I wonder if he's going to declassify shit before he goes. If he's going to be like, fuck you. Are you going to impeach me again? Here you go. I'm going to declassify all this shit.
Some people have been worried about like what he'll say once he leaves office.
I'm sure there's gonna be something to that. I don't know. I just think it's a bad move to be.
I agree. I think it is a bad move. I even heard today, oh, we're gonna edit him out of freaking Home Alone 3. It's like, are you serious, bro?
That's funny, dude. My wife saw that with the kids the other day, and she was, I didn't realize he was there. He was like a villain.
No, you're gonna. It's like dude. There's a petition to edit him out of that movie. It's like, come on, bro. Come on.
But that's already been going out. The cancel culture has been editing movies.
It's crazy, dude. It's like, come on, man.
I remember, like 6 years ago, I remember seeing Gone with the Wind on Turner Classic Movies.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think my son or my daughter they were studying it in literature or whatever, and the movie was on, and we watched it. Recently, they put it on, but before they put it on, same channel, Turner Classic Movies,
TCM.
they had a huge freaking preamble disclaimer explaining that everything in here is, not the opinions of the station and America. And, it's like, hey, we're going to show you this movie, but we're really embarrassed to, part of the cancel culture to, edit the reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
To change movies and, all kinds of different cultural things because it's now deemed offensive and whatever. So yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Isn't that kind of like also, if that were a person, right, instead of an entity or corporation or whatever, isn't that kind of like, well, Disney, if you watch fucking Pinocchio, there's crazy shit, dude. They're smoking cigars, the little kids, and doing all kind of crazy shit. But dude, you don't have to be married to your ideas or things that you did years ago, dude. People change, times change. It's okay to say, you know what, that wasn't okay back then, or that was okay back then, or that was considered okay back then, but it no longer is. We learned that no longer is okay, but that still happened. That's still part of our history.
Yeah, you can't turn your back on what happened, dude. Oh, no.
Right. And that's the difference, right? There's some people that believe that shit should be torn away, thrown away to never be seen again. Then there's other people that say, hey, we should leave those things with like a little plaque that explains what you just said. Go, hey, this is the past. We don't think like this anymore. We don't do things like this anymore. But here it is because it existed and you should know about it.
And you should never forget that. Exactly.
And that's why I love sports, because nobody will ever come and say, we need to get rid of all the game film from the Dolphins 1-15 season. That's fucking there, bro. We were 1-15. Nobody's changing that. The Negro Leagues existed. Those guys should have been in the major leagues. They're still there. The regular major leagues are still there. All sports kind of exists in a different world where, it's you against you, whoever was better. Like we don't change, even controversial decisions that happen in games. There was a no-hitter a few years ago.
Yeah.
The guy was out at first base. It would have been a no-hitter. I think the guy's name was Galarraga from the Tigers. Even the referee, the umpire later said, I missed that call. That's not a no-hitter. They don't change it. It still happened.
It was a no-hitter. It wasn't a perfect game. I think that's what it was.
No, everything went out the door.
Everything went out the door?
Yeah, because it was ruled a single. But you're right. I think it would have been a perfect game. But
yeah,
the perfect game went out. The no-hitter went out. Everything on that one blown play. Last out. Mm-hmm. You could say in a no-hitter, that was only in the 8th inning. Other things could have happened. Mm-hmm. Nothing else should have happened in that game. It was the last out of the last inning. Would have been. It was in my book. That's a perfect game of no-hitter. Anyways, I just wanted to throw the sports analogy where we don't fucking hide shit in sports and history. It's still there. Whatever the fuck happened, dude. Olympics that got, boycotted and all kinds of shit that's happened. It's still there, dude. It's in the record books. History should be in the record books. We should never try to rewrite history unless you have a fucking time machine, which I do want.
Or forget the ugly part of history.
Yeah, because you could learn from that, dude. We got to learn from that.
Of course.
Agreed.
History is why we learn shit is wrong, but we shouldn't erase it. So, okay, this one's probably gonna take a while. I want to talk about the 9/11 conspiracy theories. Hialeah, you can take a break. You've already given us your. Oh, you got 5%. You can partake. You have 5%. 95% of the time, we'll split amongst ourselves over here. But at minimum, there's a lot of weird shit, right? At minimum, can you admit that much, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the weird shit. The missing money from Rumsfeld the day before. Hialeah left. Look at him. He couldn't even take it.
I'm here.
How much money was missing? Can you look that up, Tank? Rumsfeld, the day before 9/11, he came out, and I think it's like $2 or $3 trillion. I don't remember how much it was exactly. Like, he came out and he said that announcement about all that money that was missing, and then that got kind of silenced by the events of the next day, which were 9/11.
But what exactly was it that he said? Or
trillion. Yeah, you're right.
Do you have an article up there or something?
Yeah.
What's it say?
It says on September 10, 2001, the U.S. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld disclosed that his department was unable to account for roughly $2.3 trillion worth of transactions. The next day, the U.S. sustained a terrorist attack that changed the world, and this startling revelation was forgotten.
So, can that mean that they were wrong and it never really was missing, or maybe they found the accounting for it?
Well,
I've never heard a resolution to that.
Well, I'm just trying to understand what significance does it have. So, are we saying that missing money is what we use to pay for the inside job of 9/11, or are we saying that we created 9/11 so we could forget about the missing money?
I wouldn't even take it that far. All I'm saying is if I stub my toe and my toe needs to be amputated today, but you turn around and your whole leg needs to be amputated, my toe story is no longer that important. The story becomes that your leg needed to be amputated because that's a bigger story, and my story kind of gets forgotten. And this story kind of has gotten forgotten.
So it's kind of like the carrot?
Or a perfect time to throw in a major fucking event that's going to get overshadowed very easily by the events of the next day.
Again, so you created the event to overshadow the other.
I'm not going to go that far. I'm presenting some weird fucking facts, and I just find that weird that would have been if Trump came out if they said right now that Trump's cabinet has that amount of money in how did they word that? They can't track those transactions, or they don't know where that money is. Unaccounted for. Can you imagine the fucking shitstorm there would be? That would be a major fucking story.
But I will tell you though, because I lived it, and I know Hialeah is within the same decade as me, and I'm being nice. Before Donald Trump, the guy that was getting absolutely blasted was George Bush.
Mm-hmm.
He was incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
He stole his election.
Mm-hmm.
He was hated by everybody. Well, mostly the Democrats.
He was a joke. He was a joke.
He was a joke. He got the job because of his dad. The Cheneys, the Rumsfelds were propping him up. He started a fake war to avenge his daddy.
Yeah.
He got busted in the Air National Guard doing a little flake.
Sniffer.
He was busted for DUI, and most famously, not a conspiracy theory, he actually almost died in office choking on a pretzel.
Dude, to me, he's just kind of like a buffoon that had a lot of people around him that were really running shit. But look, even Republicans don't like him, dude. To be honest, if if you ask around, dude, there's a lot of people didn't like that guy. It wasn't just. I don't think that went along party lines. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I do remember a recent interview with Nancy Pelosi where she longed for the days of Bush compared to where we are now.
I'm not gonna share that opinion, dude, because we went on that fake ass war for fucking weapons of mass destruction, and 9/11 happened on his watch. So I wouldn't fucking long for that, Nancy Pelosi. I wouldn't long for the days of Bush with 9/11 and fucking fake wars with fake weapons of fake destruction. I don't know what she's fucking longing for.
I guess that's implying that Trump is worse.
What she's saying or what I'm saying?
No, what she's implying is that Trump is a lot worse than Bush.
I don't know. I mean, we didn't have 9/11. Katie Riley is linking the classified files. Maybe that's the Black Vault link there. I'm not sure.
Hey, I just read something on that 9/11 in Rumsfeld.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically, it was taken out of context.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, but it's true, man. It's almost logic, dude. Just because he said it the day before, I think that's just a coincidence that he said it in his speech. But what he was saying was more that with a department as large, right, as the fiscal 1999 defense audit found, that 2.3, it was balances, transaction adjustments were inadequately documented. It doesn't mean the money's missing. It's just said that the documents would take a long time to the auditors to get everything together and find out what's going on. But it doesn't mean that 2.3 trillion is missing.
But they never did. They were never accounted for.
Maybe they did but you don't know that. Maybe they did the auditing and it was fine.
So full disclosure, because you put Hialeah on the spot asking him his percentages. So let me just tell you mine. So for me, 9/11 and the moon landing are, should I say that 9/11, actually occurred as it was told. I'd say that's 99% for me.
Yeah.
And the moon landing is 99% true for me. With regards to aliens and JFK, I think those are more suspect. And I'd say that those are, in that 50% range, right? Maybe even a little higher.
Okay, while you're at it, flat Earth.
Yeah, I think those people should be rounded up.
I'm going to just put a 0 down on that one. And the simulation theory.
I've heard some great scientists say some things about that. Real scientists, not just crackpots. So I'm going to say, again, that there's like more than a 50% chance that maybe that's true.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to keep giving some more weird coincidences. The Rumsfeld thing, we're debating. Maybe they did this, maybe they that. We don't know, but that's why I put it, because we don't fucking know. So that's the one thing. The way that the buildings collapsed, that's also a point of contention for a lot of people, including a whole group of engineers. Maybe you can look it up, Tank. There's a whole contingency of engineers. I think they're called 9/11 Engineers for Truth or something to that effect, where all those people have kind of banded together and said the way that these buildings collapsed is more in line with a controlled demolition than what a story is.
I take that very similar to the Lee Harvey Oswald shot, right? I could get 50 well-known, not crackpots, shooting experts, ballistic experts to say that the JFK thing was, an easy shot, no problem, very explainable. And you could get 50 that say, no way. I kind of see it that way.
It's almost like you go to court and you got the specialist on the defense and you got the specialist on here, and they both see something completely different.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Those cannot be easy shots to me, dude. Moving target, wind, angle. I don't think that's that easy, but
You
whatever.
could look it up. There's plenty of ballistic experts that'll say that's not a hard shot at all.
But there's just as many or more that'll tell you, no, that's not that easy, dude.
And that's where I struggle, right? That's why in these things I stay inconclusive, because to Hialeah's point is, I haven't found that smoking gun, pardon the pun, that makes me go, oh, okay, for sure this is real. I can never decide on something that I have equal amount of experts on both sides telling me that it's possible. I need a tiebreaker. I need somebody to take me to the top here and tell me, here's my alien body, or here's the JFK's secret videotape showing that he actually did this, or something.
I just want to clarify. I do believe there's other life in the universe. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I just don't believe.
He's buckling.
No. I've said this before. I just don't believe that they come here and visit us. I don't believe that, but I do believe there's other life somewhere, maybe intelligent life, but they're not coming here and visiting us. That's what I'm saying.
Look, I think at minimum you have to leave a little window open. Let me see. What was your window? 0%. Your window was 0%. At minimum, you have to say, I think, and I'm not trying to push my ideas on you or anybody. I'm just saying, we send out probes. We have space junk. Dude, we don't know. Time is so long and expansive. Maybe somebody sent some fucking probe from some other shit, and some of that shit crashed here. That would be alien contact.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
You have to leave a window for at least that, I think.
Okay, I'll go 99%. Or I'll go. Okay, you know what?
I think we should stop here. We've won a major battle, and
I give you 5%. I'll give you the 5 because I do believe there's life out there.
we got a 5-point spread on aliens.
I just don't think they're coming.
He's taking aliens and the points.
I'm taking the points and the aliens. And we'll see. We'll find out in 180 days. All right, back to 9/11. Flight 93 is another interesting one. I like, again, I don't believe 100% on any of these conspiracy theories, but I find them always interesting and fun to talk about. I had forgotten, or maybe overlooked. Did you guys know that Dick Cheney ordered that flight to be shot down?
I think
at the time, that was the first conspiracy theory that came out at that time. And what I mean by that is that people assumed immediately that flight was actually shot down. And that did come out about Cheney. And it is the protocol, even before 9/11, that if an aircraft is not responding and it seems like, they're flying out of flight path or normal, what their scheduled flight path is, and they're not returning communication, that you scramble fighters and, check it out. Because there have been cases where the crew is knocked out. That's happened a couple times.
Yeah.
Where there's a failure in the oxygen system and the pressurizing of the cabin, and everybody's freaking knocked out, and basically the plane is a bomb. And that's happened. It famously happened to a famous golfer named Payne Weber, if you guys remember that, in his Lear jet.
Payne Stewart.
Payne Weber is the financial guy. Sorry, Payne Stewart. But that was a Lear jet. But
he wore all the funny outfits, right? He was the guy with the very colorful
with the knickers and the little hats. He was in his Lear jet, and they had a pressurized cabin issue, and it just ended up crashing. But I believe they scrambled fighters for that. But there's been airliners that's happened to. So that is a protocol, and that was probably the first conspiracy theory that came out of 9/11, that Flight 93 was shot down.
Did you know about that, Hialeah, that he had ordered that flight shot down?
Yeah, and I don't got a problem with that. I think it's the right call, especially on that day. You don't know what the hell's going on. You gotta. I think I don't know if they actually did or not, or if it was the passengers that brought it down. I think that was the right call on his part.
Some people say that the story of the passenger was created because it's a very heroic, very
I could see
nice
that
story, a good cover story for the fact that we freaking shot down, our own people, basically.
propaganda. It's great propaganda.
Yes.
Yeah. A couple of
Have you heard the recordings? I'm sorry. Have you heard the internal recordings that do sound like the passengers did something?
Yeah, it does go that way.
Yeah, they fucked up a couple times, these guys, and they thought they were talking to the cabin, like when you're in an airplane and they say, fasten your seatbelts, or, we're just experiencing a little turbulence. These dudes thought they were talking to the cabin, but they were actually talking to traffic control, and they were telling people kind of what was going on. Everybody, stay in your seat, nobody will get hurt, blah, blah, blah. But a couple of pieces of information is that not a lot of debris was found of the airplane. A piece of the fuselage, which was the size of a table, was found 2 miles away in a lake. They found a ton piece of an engine a mile away.
But that's normal, Randy.
I will say, and I'll give
not
you
on
an
a crash.
example.
Usually it's nearby, not that far.
I will give you an example of that happened here.
Do you remember it, Bum? Are you talking about the Everglades?
Yeah, the value jet.
Yeah, the value jet. That's what I was thinking about too.
Yeah, so the reason supposedly those crashes are similar is because they were supposedly a straight nosedive into the ground. And in the value jet that happened in the Everglades, they barely found pieces of people.
Yeah.
They were tiny, very small pieces of people. Forget the plane.
Well, that's because we have alligators here, dude.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, I know we have alligators, but
they fucking ate them alive, dude.
No. It was the impact of the crash completely disintegrated that.
Obliterated.
I'm not talking about people, though. I'm talking about parts of the airplane.
I'm talking about parts of the airplane.
Everything. They barely found anything. They barely found anything.
Dude, they found it was basically like what looked to be like an indentation in the ground, and that's it.
And that was it. And there was actually an NFL player, Crockett. There was two of them. Zach Crockett and his brother was on that plane, and he passed away in that.
It was a San Diego Charger.
Yeah, Crockett. His name was Crockett. And they didn't find anything. It was a mystery. It was like, what happened?
Yes, completely disintegrated.
Yeah.
So not completely crazy. Now on those lines, a lot of people say that what was more suspicious is the amount of debris they found on the one that hit the Pentagon, which they supposedly don't really have good, clear video of the plane hitting the building, and that there wasn't really enough aircraft debris to say it was an aircraft.
Yes, I will. That one's coming up, but I got to go back to this. Absolutely, Richard Berry. Any people that pieces of people there were fucking eaten alive. 2, that plane crashed into the fucking water, basically, dude. It didn't crash into a field like Flight 93. So those are some major differences, right?
It's like a 12-inch puddle of water.
Yeah, it's not freaking. They're not hitting the ocean. It's the Everglades.
Yeah.
It depending on the time of year, it could be deeper than 12 inches. I know it for a fact. I've walked in there myself.
Spots you don't know what spot they landed in, or
we know where they landed. I know where they landed. There's a monument out there. I go by there all the time when I go hunting. That is not a small. That could be feet deep So there's a difference, is what I'm saying. There's a difference between a plane crashing on the ground where you can see everything and a plane crashing into a few feet of water where things can sink.
Okay.
So what are you saying, that they shot him down?
Well, we're presenting some facts here that are weird and interesting. And
They
one
could
is that there
be.
was very little debris, and
They
there was
could have been.
debris miles away, which was probably more consistent with something getting blown out of the air by a missile
Well,
than a crash.
if you want to compare it, look at the Russians or the Ukrainians.
Where they shot down that plane, there was debris everywhere.
Look at the flight and the debris there of I'm a gas student.
I don't know what that means, gas student.
The last plane that was not shot down, actually confirmed by a missile because they admitted it, was one of those Malaysian planes.
Yeah.
If you want to have a bad flight, get on an Indonesian airplane.
How about that one that got lost?
Yes. Talk about a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. But you may want to look at that to see what kind of debris and it wasn't microscopic. I think there was, pretty chunky debris around, wheels, engines, suitcases.
It doesn't get obliterated, right?
Right.
It gets shattered into millions of pieces.
But shit flies. When something gets blown up in the air, shit flies. Shit's gonna land different places. When something crashes into the ground, shout out to the motorcycle guy. When shit crashes in the ground, it's more likely to stay closer. But this thing kind of like buried up into itself. But whatever. Everybody do your own research on that one. The passport is another odd thing that they found this. This was in the 9/11 Twin Towers site, I believe. Like a perfectly intact passport of one of the hijackers was found. After all this fucking carnage, and those planes obliterated too, but they found this perfectly fucking intact passport of one of the hijackers. I think it was the main guy. I can't remember his fucking name right now.
It was like the North Tower.
Mohammed Atta.
Before the whole tower collapsed, a policeman picked it up or some shit like that.
Kind of curious.
That's a weird one.
Also, in the days following the attack on... Okay, Richard Berry, I think he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to take his word for it. We thought like gasoline. We're idiots. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Al Jazeera, which is they're like a major network in the Middle East, right?
Yes.
Correct. Pretty much Muslim, Arabic kind of news media.
Probably one of their most respected networks in that area.
Their main one, yes.
Okay. In the days following the attack, Bin Laden came out and said he did not commit the act. He came out and he said he was not responsible for the act on there.
He certainly changed his mind, because we certainly saw plenty of tapes and videos with him in it, maybe doctored, right? That said that he did it.
This one's a conspiracy too, which I don't know if it's been proven or disproven or not, but the put options, which is on the stock market, where you're kind of, instead of the traditional where people bet on a stock to go up, put options where you bet for it to go down. A lot of puts were put on these.
I saw a lot of sells. Yes, there were a lot of short sales,
short selling of stock on airlines. If that was true, all those people made a fortune, because all that stock plummeted immediately after the events. The one with the Pentagon too is, there's not a lot of footage of that, right?
No.
I think there's not clear footage of a plane hitting it.
Tank, can you find any footage of the fucking Pentagon or any? There's a conspiracy theory, again, that's what we're talking about. They're all conspiracy theories, that the Pentagon has some defense systems, and that kind of almost simultaneously they fucking hit that shit with a missile. And that's why there's not a lot of footage. I don't know why they wouldn't want to say that. Maybe they don't want to say that they
have those systems. But I do know when I've been to Washington a couple times, and I remember, I know that the White House has a series of missiles and defensive systems. They don't go into a lot of detail, but they reference them. So I would think every critical building there probably has
definitely the Pentagon, right? You would think.
Yeah, you would
I
think.
got one, but it looks weird.
like you can't even tell what the fuck it is that you're looking at, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like you see like a fire light or like a light, and that's
Like
really
you see
it.
in one frame, you see like the beginning of the plane, and then you just see the explosion.
That's another weird one. The other weird thing is that they ushered out, I believe, 24 members of the Bin Laden family that was here in the U.S., most of them studying, without questioning, without anything. They just got them out of the U.S.
Yes,
in the days following the attacks.
yes, and supposedly the reasoning behind that is that they knew, they knew who they were. They knew there were civilians, and they felt they were in danger once it would be let out that Bin Laden actually did that. That they were, they were a respectable civilian family, and they felt they needed to get them out because they would be subject to attack from Americans or protesters or things like that. That's the cover story, potential cover story.
And there was a lot of business done between the Bush and Bin Laden family.
Absolutely. But more the Saudis too, which almost all of those attackers were the Saudis. The Saudis we exchanged some texts on this. They get away literally with murder with the United States.
I mean, they chopped up that journalist in the fucking embassy or whatever, and like
they have a recording of it.
If you want a thing that was a conspiracy theory that we know it's true now, it's that, right? Like, say we didn't fucking find that out for real. There would have been people saying, nah, that guy, something else happened to him, dude. They're not going to take him in and chop him into pieces and embalm him and remove him in little pieces. But that's fucking what they did, dude.
Yep. And they have audio recording of it.
Audio. Yeah, they have the audio of it.
Yeah, Richard, we talked about this earlier. I wondered out loud whether he would declassify stuff before he goes. Who knows what he's capable of? You could see him doing that shit, right?
I would think he would be the president that would love to share that with everybody.
Yeah,
because he thinks that that's bad for the American people not to know what's really going on. That it's the government, hoodwinking the public over that.
If it's going to happen, it's going to be with him. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to really put on your fucking tinfoil hat, dude, you would look at this whole thing and say, man, this almost maybe could be like a family feud where the Bush and Bin Laden camps maybe had some sort of falling out, and I don't know exactly what would have happened, what way we pin this on this guy, or or we do this to you. It's just,
well, you're partially correct, right? Because if you look at history, one of the main reasons that Bin Laden did that, right, was because Bin Laden was being supported by the United States. Back then, they were called the Mujahideen, and they were part of the forces that were fighting the Russians in Afghanistan. And during the Cold War, we were backing the Mujahideen against the Russians in Afghanistan. But what happened was, once they defeated the Russians and the Russians pulled out, we turned our backs on them, and pretty much they got into another civil war and all kinds of problems, and we kind of left them there. And that was it, because when we use assets, right, as they like to call them, in these kind of wars, when we're done with them, we're done. We leave. We turn our back, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And he resented that big time. In addition to the westernization of a lot of the Middle East, particularly Saudi Arabia, which he was from, and how Western influence was getting into Saudi Arabia.
And to be clear, we were providing them with weapons, tanks.
The whole shebang. It's the reason they beat him.
That was the Russia's Vietnam.
Yes, exactly.
All that shit is those kind of things that make you think about. All that's the kind of shit that gives fuel to this fire, right? You know, all those things floating around.
Sure.
Background.
And also, people always forget when they talk about these conspiracies, they conveniently forget that the World Trade Center was attacked before.
In 92 or 93, right?
93, I believe. Now, was that a failed conspiracy?
What was the story on that one?
They put the bombs, I think, in the parking lots.
Right, to blow
underneath.
Yeah.
Even Biggie has a one song that he mentions it, blowing up like the World Trade, which they kind of blurt that out sometimes in some of his, when you listen to that song. But who was responsible for that one?
I think it went back to Obama. I mean, not Obama. To
Obama, hell yeah.
Obama? What a conspiracy.
Shit.
Bin Laden. It goes back to
I feel like playing the theme song when you say that, dude.
It went back to Bin Laden.
Also?
It was Obama.
Did that one go to Bin Laden?
I think he had a part in it.
I don't recall now. It may have been Al Qaeda. I don't know if it was directly Bin Laden. It was definitely Muslim, right?
I think that was his first attempt, and they didn't go after him at that time.
Can you look that up, Tank?
And then it's just snowballed.
I guess that's another thing that feeds a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
That
there's a lot of shit, dude, that'll feed it.
That we knew that this was a target because it was targeted before, yet we didn't really change,
dude, what
any security or anything.
We got caught with our pants down. We were freaking super arrogant. Nothing could come over here, and you know what? They figured out a way to get us with our own shit. And they planned it for 2 years or 3 years. They did their homework, and we were just too arrogant to think that it could happen to us. And guess what? It happened to us, and they didn't have to bring an army to do it, you know?
Tank, what do you got?
His name was Ramazi Youssef. He was a Pakistani.
Was there an affiliation? Like, is he
with Bin Laden?
Because they say he's fucking Al Qaeda or what the fuck he was, or...
That's another conspiracy, the Pakistans. Don't get me started on that.
We can do that one another time. Or you could, if it's quick and concise.
Well, I'll just say this. Who hid Osama bin Laden?
Exactly. Who hit him?
The Pakistanis.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Dude, another thing, because I to me, 9/11, bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, you know, that's all like a package, right? That's all like, to me, is like a whole, all tied together, right? Not Bin Laden, Saddam, during that era, he stopped using the US dollar and only was accepting the euro. And that's another conspiracy theory that we went in to attack him as retaliation for that, because that was hurting the dollar, thus weakening us, thus strengthening the euro. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that one.
That's pretty flimsy because Iraq has a small as hell economy, and there's no way they could ever change anything like that.
But with the oil?
Even with the oil. Now, I think
but that's got to piss you off, though, right? Like, all of a sudden...
Piss you off, yeah. But remember, the primary conspiracy around that basically, you know, Daddy Bush ended the first war incomplete, and son Bush wanted to rectify that, right? That's the bigger one, right?
Or Daddy Bush was still pulling those strings, you know.
Because a lot of the people that were around the son were people that were in the administration of Daddy Bush.
Well, and those guys were fucking good.
They were top guys.
Not good in, good evil, but like good at what they wanted to do and good at getting what they wanted to get done. Because fucking Rumsfeld, Cheney was really the president, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Those guys were fucking running shit, dude. There's a lot of other shit that is not as interesting, maybe, but there's a lot of other fucking tidbits. We all know about Cheney, and he profited off the war too with Halliburton. I think it's Halliburton, the name of the company that provides a lot of stuff. Because wars is big money. He was on the board at one time with one of those companies. There's a lot of crazy shit around it, dude.
I got a couple wacky ones if you want to hear them.
Hit it, dude. That's what we're doing.
The Beatles never existed.
The Beatles?
Yeah.
Paul is dead?
Yeah, there's that thing that Paul is dead.
There's an Avril Lavigne one where they say that she's been replaced too. But the McCartney one, I heard that he died and they replaced him with a lookalike or some shit.
Yeah, well, and if you play their
backwards.
Yeah, backwards. You do hear shit. Paul
Do you guys ever remember like Obama being able to control the weather?
That's true. That one's true.
Okay.
100%. I heard that one too. I believe it.
I've never heard that one.
He's a weather wizard.
I will say this: you can make it rain.
Yes,
not at the strip club, bum. Literally, like you could blow up clouds and make it rain.
Well, Trump wanted to see if there was a way of using tactical nuclear weapons to break up hurricanes before they hit. Along with bleach internally, but
I was gonna say that next. But I mean, sometimes you gotta throw shit out there and see if it sticks. You never know.
You guys know that technically, like the Earth's core is like a conspiracy. It's not because we've never actually reached the core, and like we think there's like magma down there, and that it's super
liquid
hot.
magma.
No, dude, there's dinosaurs living in there. It's the land that time forgot.
All right, guys, this is all we got for today's show.
There's a hollow Earth theory too.
There's slee stacks.
Slee stacks. Yes, slee stacks.
He's gonna go get his little toy. So predictable right now. Show us.
Slee stacks.
There it is.
Slee stacks.
For a guy who doesn't believe in aliens, you have an alien toy. I don't even fucking have one. You should give me that. Is what you should do. All right, I'm gonna leave the 9/11. What I will say about 9/11 is the fucking firefighters, people in the buildings. Those people are fucking heroes. All those people who help people. All those people who died.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking shout out to all those people and all those families. They're innocent people caught in the middle of whatever the fuck that was. So
I will say that is the, outside of any kind of personal thing, right? That is probably one of the saddest days that I can remember in my life.
Definitely. One of the, yeah.
Dude, I just remember being so depressed on the couch and like watching that shit and like not believing it and just like I couldn't turn it off either. But
it was surreal, dude. It was surreal. Seeing all the people in New York full of ash just going through the streets, man.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, terrible. I'm gonna transition to not another sex. I'm gonna transition to the next subject and time travel. What are your guys' thoughts on time travel?
Well, if you get a raft and you go down the the Colorado River.
Yeah, and you hit the
waterfall.
The waterfall.
And there's like a vortex that takes you into the core of the earth. You'll see slee stacks.
0%.
Will Robinson. Will.
Danger.
Holly Robinson.
All right, so wait a minute. Okay, all jokes aside. So here, what's the science, right? So who do we consider one of the greatest scientists of all time? Albert Einstein, right? He certainly believed, as he developed the theory of relativity and some other theories, that it could be possible scientifically.
Which, by the way, a lot of the shit that Einstein said at the time was like, people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? That later we learned, oh shit, this guy fucking told us that all this time ago.
Well, yeah. I mean, most of the things that he said, even then, people paid attention because they knew he was brilliant. But I mean, a lot of those, space-time continuum and all that kind of stuff that he put together, I mean, that's science. It's theoretical, but there's science behind it. So it's not like something that you're pulling out of the National Enquirer. It has some meat to it, right?
Tesla, if I'm not mistaken, Tank, maybe you could fact check me on this. Tesla, I believe, had some idea, theory, plans of some sort of time machine. And there is a conspiracy theory, which I think our guest a couple weeks ago, Cam from Experimento, he kind of touched on it, dude. There's a whole conspiracy with Tesla and Trump. You guys ever heard that one?
No.
All right, this one's fucking out there, but it's kind of interesting. Tesla left behind, again, I don't know how much of this is fact or fiction, supposedly some type of, he had a bunch of notes, a lot of, notebooks and ideas and stuff. And I think when he passed, those came into the hands of an engineer or scientist, and that guy's name was Trump. And that guy
it definitely wasn't this Trump.
No, but it was his.
So it's kind of like a Lincoln Kennedy moment, where the
No, this guy was related to Donald Trump.
Okay.
It's like his grandfather or his grandfather's brother.
Okay.
Tank's pulling up the files, and those notes came into his possession, and I think he reported, there's nothing of substance, and then later, eventually, all that shit came into Trump's hands, and then it really goes out there from there that like Trump figured out how to time travel and shit like that. But it's just kind of funny how they tied that one into Donald Trump and Tesla. Did you find anything on it, Tank?
The time travel one, no, but I see here that Tesla died in New York in a New York hotel, and the FBI called an MIT professor, electrical engineer John G. Trump, to determine if any of the belongings in the investor's estate would be dangerous if they fell into enemy hands.
And that guy's related to Donald Trump, right?
Uncle of Donald J. Trump, yeah.
That's how they tied in that whole fucking thing. That one's kind of out there. There's
0%.
been a
0%.
That goes without saying. And then there's been some time travel conspiracy theories, which they're stories, right? That people latch onto, little fucking tidbits. But you guys ever heard of any of these? The guy that went to the airport and there was something up with his passport, and he was from the country Taured.
And it didn't exist.
Yeah,
I've heard about that one.
Didn't exist.
Yes.
He's from the future?
These people that you don't like, Hialeah, they said that he may be from like a fucking parallel universe that got fucking crossed. How do you feel about parallel universes?
Me?
Yes, you.
0. Zero. And
The multiverse, dude.
You don't believe in the multiverse?
yeah, in Marvel and Miles Morales, I believe in
Oh,
that.
in your little cartoon books, you do? Okay.
I believe it there, but not in the real world. Oh my god, I'm not even drinking, and I just went off course. The thing of time travel. I have read up a little bit on time travel, and yeah, Einstein's theory seems to be true going forward in time, and you got to go at an incredible speed in space, and it's minute. It's milliseconds. It's not like it is possible for a short amount of time, probably to go. It does make sense, but going backwards is a whole different story. So
time can travel slower for you if you go outer space or if you circumnavigate the globe.
Yeah.
Time will pass by slower for you than people who are just standing,
But you're not going back and reliving shit. It's not time travel. It's not like I'm sure you guys have seen these pictures. A man from the 20th century in this old 1890 picture. How did that guy,
Jay-Z.
That happens a lot. I don't believe in that.
Jay-Z's a vampire.
Yeah, he's a vampire. He's from Lestat, Anne Rice books.
Illuminati.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Illuminati. There's the famous picture at the Tyson fight where some dude has what appears to be like a modern day cell phone, which didn't even exist. You guys ever seen that one?
I think I've heard of it. I don't remember seeing the picture.
I have seen that one.
Let me see if I can show it to you guys.
I think the other day you sent it to me, but I was thinking, or I could have swore that I saw another one.
You guys see that?
Yeah.
It could be. There was some sort of portable cameras that kind of looked like that at the time.
Yeah.
Could it be doctored?
I guess it could be, but it could just be that this guy had some type of filming device that resembles
a camcorder.
It resembles what our modern day cell phones look like. There's one that's interesting about. Let me see if I can find my notes. And again, these could be fucking bullshit, dude. We don't know because, you could write some of these stories were written in satire websites or magazines, and then they just get repeated so many times that they become part of the whole lore and fucking conspiracy shit. There's a dude called Andrew Carlson who made an $800 investment that ended up in like $350 million within a span of a few weeks. And then I guess this is like a Back to the Future thing, and the kid coming back, the Biff with the fucking sports almanac coming. By the way, you could get that at manofactionfigures.com. Let me just show you. I don't have Biff with me right now, but let me show you a couple things.
That looks like green something or other.
This is Green Lantern, but it's like a zombie.
Like beast.
Let me show you a couple more while I'm at it. manofactionfigures.com, sponsor of the show. For my money, one of the best running backs.
Definitely.
In NFL history. You can get LaDainian Tomlinson, Funko Pop. Worst meal you could ever have.
Ronald
McDonald is there. What else do we have? We got a seal here and a seal here. What the hell's going on here?
Everybody's grabbing. Nobody's tackling.
Right. Who else do I have? You guys remember this game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Operation.
Everybody remembers those.
Super hot right now.
Ninja Turtles. This is out, dude. Anybody seen this? WandaVision?
I saw it this morning.
Did you see both episodes?
Yes.
And what's without giving out any spoilers, are you going to be watching the next episodes?
I will, but I got to tell you, man, it was hard to watch. I wasn't.
Oh, wow.
It was hard to watch. There's not a lot of spoilers, honestly. You could tell there's stuff going on that they haven't shown yet. I know it's going somewhere, but dude, it was hard to watch, bro. it was hard to watch. At least for me, it was hard to watch.
One of the greatest alien invasions of our time.
Oh yeah, the lizard people, Mike V.
And there's a guy who looks like Trump in that show. I love this cartoon from my youth.
Oh my God, yes, and I like that pop right there. That's the variant, right, or something like that.
There's
two different versions.
There's a Chase version. This is the regular one. The Chase, I think, has his helicopter thing out.
I like the helicopter. That's the one you have there, right?
Yeah. No, this one, maybe it is. You're right. This may be it.
I
like okay, and finally we got one more of those dead people and a lot of other fucking things. Check it out, manofactionfigures.com, sponsor of the show. I don't remember where I was. This guy has a time machine though. We should talk to him. Okay, but you're gonna have to explain that to us, Richard, to see how that works. What were we talking about before I did the commercial?
Well, you were talking about
time travel.
The time travelers, the guy at the Tyson fight.
Yes.
Then there's the stock market guy, which I don't know.
Stock market guy.
Yeah. So is that what's the finish the story with the guy from the stock market? Well, how did that end? Or
well, the SEC, which kind of oversees all these trades and all this stuff, picked up on it. I mean, the argument is like, yeah, if that guy was trying to come back in time and fucking, do this shit, he wouldn't have made it that obvious. Again, I don't know if that's just a fucking one of those satire articles that got picked up. It gets repeated a lot in conspiracy circles.
That's true.
One that is interesting to me is the John Titor. You guys ever heard of John Titor?
No.
Only when you told me about him.
All right. This was a guy that came out on the message boards in the and again, we're like in the Art Bell coast to coast message boards, which already, that's out there. A lot of the coast to coast radio was with Art Bell, and they would talk about aliens.
Did Art Bell die?
Yeah, he's dead. Conspiracies. The guy who's still around is the guy who's kind of in charge of all that. What's his name, dude? He's George Norrie is the guy who does it now, who used to kind of fill in for him. I can't remember the other guy's name. He was involved with Bob Lazar and that whole movie that came out with the whole Area 51 and stuff. Anyways, so back to the story. This John Titor guy would come out on the message boards and say he was a time traveler, and he stopped by on his way back from the 70s because he had to go get an IBM computer that was needed in the year 2036 to debug some other computers that they had in that era. And the thing that people like about the conspiracy is that that computer actually had those capabilities to debug other systems. Bum, you should look into it. You probably know way more than that with your line of work than me, but like that's generally accepted that part of it is true. That I forget the name of the computer. I thought I had it written down here.
I thought it was like a IBM 5100 or something like that.
I think that's exactly what it was. And then he warned of a few things. One of which, the one that I find the most fucking interesting, the timeline was off, but he said there was an impending civil war that was gonna happen, and it had to do with George Knapp. Thank you very much, Richard. George Knapp is the guy I was thinking of. I believe it's with a K, though, his name. That's the guy in charge of all that coast-to-coast radio and stuff. Reporter from Vegas. Okay, he warned of an impending civil war that had to do with unrest, with an election, and that shit would happen, which, fuck, that doesn't seem that fucking far off right now, man.
Guys, but if he would say that, wouldn't he give names?
I gotta go drain the lizard real quick here. I'll let you guys.
He wouldn't give names.
He didn't give names. What names do you want?
Well, I'm just saying,
Who was in the election?
Yeah, exactly. Who was what election it was that they were fighting over?
Okay, I'm electing to go take a piss. You guys can continue to discuss.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, dude. I don't. Come on, man.
You got to be really on point for somebody to believe you're a time traveler. It has to be like exact fucking like dates, and that's
You can't
impossible, bro.
can't be vague. It's
Yeah,
you can't be guessing. And oh, look, he hit. It's like Nostradamus, right?
yeah.
He hit. They only show all the hits.
Heck, the woman at the carnival, could probably hit some.
You're gonna hit. You're gonna hit, dude. Because
If you
if you
keep it
throw up,
vague,
you throw enough.
vague enough.
Yeah, you keep it vague. You go to somebody and it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna meet a man or you're gonna meet a woman and she's gonna have brown hair and you're gonna have 2 kids and 3 kids. They're gonna hit.
Walter Mercado.
What the McCullough, you're gonna hit. But he wasn't giving specifics though. He was just saying be this, be that, and it was all positive. It's not always all positive. It's not always mucho amor.
Well, this guy wasn't very positive though. He was warning of an impending civil war.
But he wouldn't give you names of the election.
I mean, I didn't fucking talk to him, dude. I'm just telling you what he said.
But I'm just saying that's a major detail that you're gonna just leave out.
Yes, I just find it interesting that 20 years ago, he's predicting something that some people tell you we're on the fucking precipice of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of interesting.
I don't know if you would have asked me that 3 years ago. Is that possible? I would have told you there's no way. Now you ask me that, and I'm like, I got to think about it.
What's your percentage?
On Civil War?
Yeah.
Listen, empires, and I always hear my uncle, Victor, that Bum.
Yep.
He always, I mean, that's one of the things he repeats constantly whenever we start talking about governments and empires. He always says it. They don't really last more than 200 years. You look back at history, right? And there's not many of them that last over 200 years. So it would be kind of like the Browns beating the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but wouldn't be that fucking surprised if some shit happened.
Yeah, I would have thought that was, if you would have asked me a few years ago, I'd tell you you're dead fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And now I don't know, 50-50.
It's a fragile thing. And it usually gets destroyed from within.
Well, they're destroying it for me, dude.
It gets destroyed. Look at Rome. All these empires, it's all from within, man. They get their things from the outside, and they do have an effect, but it's usually from within where the change comes from. And it's not guaranteed, and it's fragile.
Tank, can you see if you have anything on John Titor? I know I had some little factoids, but the main thing about him was that he did get the dates off because he was saying it was going to be in 2008. But again, those people who like to say he was a time traveler, time frames could be thrown off. But back to the multiverse thing for a second. That's a condescending nod that you gave me there, Hialeah. Don't think I didn't notice it. The multiverse, I think, is interesting because
I got his predictions right here.
All right, hit it.
It says, although invoking the many-world interpretation of quantum mechanics, whereby events from his timeline may differ from our own, Titor also expressed assurance that the differences were minimal. As such, his description have been interpreted and predictions are compared with historical events since 2001. The upcoming Civil War. Yeah, says the most immediate of Titor's prediction were of an upcoming civil war in the United States having to do with order and rights. He described it beginning in 2004 with civil unrest surrounding the presidential election of that year.
That sort of happened.
This conflict characterized as having a Waco type event every month that steadily gets worse. Would be pretty much in whatever. Says as a result of the war, the United States was split into 5 regions based on various factors and differing military objectives. This civil war, according to Titor, would end in 2015 with a brief but intense World War III.
Jesus.
And the capital would be like Nebraska or some shit for whatever reason.
Yeah, right here. I'm getting to
And when did this guy live?
Well, this guy was active in like 2001.
And he passed away, you said?
Oh, we don't know who he is. He's a time traveler.
So nobody's ever seen this guy. So what did he show up on the internet? Is that what it was?
Oh, these were all done on message boards. All these predictions.
Okay.
It wasn't in person. The multiverse thing is interesting because I sometimes think you're doing something, right? And you, like, choices you make go and create another, like, things can go this way or that way, right? Depending on what you choose to do. Sometimes more important ones than less important ones, right? You know, like, if I would have done this, all these other things would happen.
Of course.
And that's the whole multiverse theory. Like, in some instances, you do this, and then that all happens. And in some instances, you do the opposite, and other shit happens. And people who like the multiverse, you know, there could be an infinite amount of Hialeah Comic Bros, and they're doing an infinite amount of different decisions.
So right now, I might be on a different show.
You could be on a different show right now, and you probably are. We don't know that. You could be a hologram, and you're just here, and you're really doing another show.
You could be the conspiracy theorists, and we could be the skeptics.
Yes, in another universe, you're the one that's like saying, yes, aliens, and I'm like, fuck no, 0%, you're crazy.
I have never said fuck no, and you're crazy. I have never said that.
But we're in another multiverse here. Okay, in that multiverse, you talk like that.
That reminds me of that famous original Star Trek where there's a transporter problem and they get beamed onto another Enterprise and they're like their alter egos.
They're bad and they're evil.
Yes.
Spock has a goatee.
Yeah. And they're like ruthless.
That's evil.
They're like a ruthless. Instead of the Federation, they're the Empire.
Somebody's laughing at us. Yes, it's all for comedy. But that's interesting. You know, like there could be fucking infinite parallel universes where we're different. Rick and Morty does that fucking really good, dude. They with all the different Ricks and Mortys that there are in the different
Council of Ricks.
The Council of Ricks. Hell yeah! Shout out to Rick and Morty. How about the fucking Simpsons? Talking about cartoons. You guys heard about all these Simpsons predictions? Obviously, you've heard of them, right?
Simpson predictions.
So. I think so. Yeah, that happened in the show. That show's been on for 20-something years.
You know, I've never really watched that show.
It's pretty funny.
I rode the ride though.
I'm not the biggest fan as well. I've seen it and all that, but I'm not the big.
I did get me a good dosage of Beavis and Butthead, and that just says a lot about me.
Rick and Morty does some fucking legit shit, dude. If you look into the Simpsons predictions, they're crazy, dude. There's one of Trump on an escalator, and he's waving, and it's like a bunch of years before. That one, he's talking about it right now. You guys seen that? I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Almost exact. Some people say that guy's a fucking time traveler. Matt Groening, the creator.
Mm-hmm. But what is it? He's on an elevator, and what happens?
Let me see if I can play it, dude.
Well, that's how Trump comes out, right? The famous coming down the escalator is...
Let me know if this plays, guys.
How he was introduced.
Yeah,
we see it.
Can you see that, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
Oh my goodness.
15 years earlier.
Oh shit.
There's one with
I think
Corona.
people were trying to look up Melania's dress there. She was wearing this kind of sorry.
I'm sure you would be that guy.
Watch
I
the
admit
sign.
it.
Oh, that's crazy. Even the sign part happens.
There's one about coronavirus. There's
So you're saying the Simpsons is our present day Nostradamus?
well, the guy has like the other thing I don't know is if that then there's been a few that have come true that then they fucking make fake ones afterwards. I'm not a big Simpsons guy, so I don't really keep up with them.
Yeah.
But they're
And
look
then
it up on your own.
Out.
Bro, the God particle one is crazy, dude.
Well, that came out for real.
Yes. The Higgs boson or God particle, which was a breakthrough that helps explain how everything in the universe has mass, wasn't confirmed by physicists until 2012. But supposedly on an episode, fucking Homer has that fucking equation drawn out on a chalkboard.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
What am I making this up?
Are you serious? I just had my mind. No, I just had my mind blown.
Oh, finally, dude. I don't know what it takes to do that, but fucking finally. According to Dr. Simon Singh, the author of The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets, after Homer decided to become an inventor in The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, he was pictured standing in front of a blackboard with an equation that predicted the mass of the yet-to-be-discovered particle. If you work it out, you get the mass of a Higgs boson that's only a bit larger than the nanomass of a Higgs boson actually is, he told The Independent. It's kind of amazing as Homer makes this prediction 14 years before it was discovered. Now, granted, I don't know what the fuck a Higgs boson is, or I don't know what this fucking equation is, but if it's true, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, they could just be telling us that that's what it's the same equation. You know what I'm saying?
But who? What, the scientists are in on it? They want to fucking trick us?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying that, I'm just airing it out. I don't know.
But you always air it out to the side of no.
I'm very cautious. I think conspiracies and all this gets thrown out like paper. It's like nothing. And I think there's a lot for an actual conspiracy. It takes a lot more. And we probably don't even know the real freaking conspiracies that are going on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we end up knowing them years after when they're okay to be released.
Exactly. And people just throw out anything now as a conspiracy, and not everything is a conspiracy. It's like even at work. Let's say you're
not
at work,
everything is not a conspiracy.
that everything is not a conspiracy, but that's the easy answer right now. Everything is a conspiracy. No, it's not.
But not everything is not a conspiracy either.
Exactly.
If I told you 5 years ago, dude, there's this guy and he has an island and he just ferries in underage women and he flies on his plane presidents and important people and princes and they go to this island, you would have been like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yep.
There's no pedophile island, dude. Come on. They would have been like,
well, that one I would have believed that one like 20 times over a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, you got to put in the plausible to it.
Easy to say now.
No. You got to put a plausible. Is it possible? Can it happen?
I think where a lot of those, for me, those conspiracies fail is that the conspiracy to get it done is more effort than what it gives you.
Yes. And I think people make it sound like putting a conspiracy together and actually going forward with it, it's a lot harder to keep it a secret,
Yes.
It's a lot more work than people give it. It's not.
I would agree.
Let's do it. There's conspiracies everywhere at work. Hey, man, these people are out to get you. They're this, and a lot of times it's just people freaking stirring the pot, and it's not a conspiracy, but people think that's a conspiracy. Oh my God, they're fired against.
I agree, but by the same token, there's plenty of evidence of things that we know later are proven that at the time they would have been considered a conspiracy theory that actually got proved to be true.
Yes.
Example, the one we were talking, real simple, the weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
You know? But I will say that it's very easy to create a conspiracy, right? Because
it is.
God forbid, like, you know, if you were driving home from work and suddenly, you know, like you stopped, you went to a couple places that you normally don't, and then you get into a car crash and you die, and then like your family is left to figure out like, what was he doing here and why did he go here, and suddenly was he seeing another woman, like what, and you start to like
the imagination
and fill in for things that you're trying to piece together that don't make sense, right?
And you're trying to give it an answer.
Right. And all it was is that maybe that day you went off the beaten path and bad things happen, and then they're trying to make sense of that.
Yeah.
Are you is this a confession?
No.
No,
okay.
but that's
I was just thinking like maybe it's some. All right.
But
I didn't want to put something specific on record just in case. All right.
Well, it's being recorded either way.
And a lot of times people go off the deep end and come up with all these theories and all this thing, and where sometimes it's just the simplest answer, like you said. Maybe you just you wanted to see a different route, you know, and it just happens that way. But it's not aliens. It's not, you know, a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's just life. And things happen, dude.
It's something you can't explain.
Exactly. But it's not. But just because you can't explain it doesn't mean that it's supernatural.
Right.
Or it's freaking
or there's people that are directing it
behind it. Exactly. It's just.
But it could be.
But it could be because we
according to him, anywhere from 0 to 5%.
It could be because we have evidence of the times that it has been. Right? But for me, those are the only ones I believe.
Well, and as soon as a conspiracy becomes fact, we're not fucking interested in that anymore. Like
that's true too.
Like that's it. All right, case closed. Yeah, there it is.
Or it gets proven that it is false.
Right, one way or the other. But most of these persist because there's enough doubt or enough evidence on either side to be like, fuck, we don't have the whole.
There's a question.
Yeah, we don't. This is not. It's not like a football play where did he make the catch and he did a football move. You know, yes, okay, there it is. Oh, fumble, his knee was on the ground. We don't have the smoking gun or the knee on the ground or 2 feet in bounds.
Have a definitive answer.
Yes, inconclusive. So a lot of these may be inconclusive or there's fucking doubt. Another one that's fucking interesting to me that doesn't really get talked about a lot is the Vegas shooter, man. You guys remember that one?
Before you get into that, the way you just described that whole inconclusive thing is exactly my approach to all this, right? So to me, I'll look at the tape, I'll look at the knee, and you know, was his toe in, this and that 100 times. But you know what? The rule is, if it doesn't clearly tell you what it is, the play stands, right? Or you don't believe it because there isn't evidence to turn it around. That's kind of how I think in all of these things.
Okay, and you're talking about football, but you could also apply that to government. Sometimes they're under a timeline and they got to make a decision and they got to make a call and they got to put out a story. And we saw in the Buffalo Bills, back to our other football show for a second, Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, there was a fucking legit blown call in that game, even looking at the evidence that it didn't end up mattering because the Colts didn't end up scoring and winning that game. But if they would have, the Bills would have gotten royally fucked because that dude fucking fumbled the ball.
I got to tell you, I think that's a perfect example. when I was watching that game, you know where I was? I was getting my car serviced, and I was in the waiting room, and the TV had the game. There were a bunch of guys that like circled about, and half of them swore that it was a fumble, and the other said, no, it's not. And I think that's what it's about, right? That's what all of these topics are, that everybody's got a different point of view. And what did the referee do? He decided to leave the play alone because there wasn't anything conclusive to really change it. And then that's kind of how I take these conspiracy theories. Until you don't show me the alien dead body, I'll say there's a chance, but I'm not going to tell you 100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the play I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, the Colt Bill game when there's like a spin around play and it looks like his knee touches, but the guy has his hand on his back and he fumbled. It's actually kind of a complex sequence.
It is. It's not your traditional.
No.
It's a hard live. That is a hard call to call.
That play is hard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Even me and him at first, I think we were going the other way, and then we eventually agreed that it was a fumble, and then we were shocked that they didn't call it a fumble. So the dude catches the ball, he falls to the ground, but he doesn't give himself up. He starts to get back up.
Yeah.
The defender like does the old slap on the back, like you're down. But when he does the slap on the back, his knee has just milliseconds or whatever, nanoseconds before that has raised off the ground. So he's no longer down when the guy touches him. He gets up. He then proceeds to fumble. However, they called him down, so anything that happened afterwards didn't happen. The Bills recovered the ball, I believe, after the fumble, which should have been a fumble and it should have been the end of the game.
So do you guys believe it was a fumble?
Absolutely.
Initially, well, yeah, I did after I saw it, but then I knew once it was so back and forth and looking and measuring, I said, you know what? They're going to say it's inconclusive and they're going to let the play stand.
What did you think?
I think I'm with you guys. I think it was a fumble, and I'm with you, It was just so bang bang and all that. Just leave it the way it was called.
I'm trying to see if I can find it to show it.
I agree with you. I think it was a fumble, dude, they showed it a lot of times. His head goes back and to the left. Back and to the left.
That was a fumble.
The Garcia film.
Oh, and this guy from The Simpsons, his other show that he has, it's called Futurama.
Oh, I love Futurama. That one I love.
Same guy. So that's kind of rubbing it in our faces, right? If he's a time traveler. The whole fucking Futurama thing. Okay, the Vegas shooter. That was kind of one of my last ones. What do you guys think about that whole fucking scenario? Tank, you still with us?
Yeah.
Would you remember this scenario?
Yeah, I just remember him shooting a bunch of people from the window. That's all. Country music.
Yes, he hated country music, obviously.
I sort of do too, but I don't think I would have shot 59 people in Marin.
I'm with you there.
I think one of the strangest things for me about that is that in all of these mass shootings, they've been able to build or release a profile of the person pretty quick. Oh, you know, he just got released from the mental hospital. Oh, he had a bunch of guns and he fought with neighbors or whatever. There's always a profile. He was anti-Semitic. He was a Muslim, whatever. There's always like a profile.
The pattern. a pattern to their
something. This guy had nothing.
I think he had like a speeding ticket or something, maybe one time. That's it.
He was wealthy, so he didn't have a need. There wasn't like a money thing involved. Granted, he was a high roller and he gambled, but I don't think they showed that he was in debt by anything. So it was really weird in that respect. It didn't fit the normal model of the shooter, right?
He wasn't Timothy McVeigh, is what you're
there
saying.
was no agenda. There was no agenda to him.
There was no mental issue. There was no patterns, no nothing. And the fact that they never really, I think they came back. That's probably the only case I remember them getting back and say, oh, we think he was a lone shooter and we really don't know why. Bye. That was it.
It was a fucking peculiar case. The other thing that was kind of seemed off to me when I look back at that case is the sheer amount of guns that he had in that one room, or he had two rooms, adjoining room. He had 21, I believe 21 weapons, but the majority of the shooting happened with one, I think it was an AR with a bunt stock, which after this scenario, those became illegal.
Yeah.
Which makes it kind of like a machine gun where you could just fucking keep shooting. Most of the shooting happened just with, I think, 2 or 3 guns. So why do you want why are you going to, if you're really going to use 2 or 3 guns to carry out this fucking atrocity, why would you have fucking 21 weapons that you have to fucking carry and you have to fucking sneak in and you have to fucking hide in your room? Why would you add that extra degree of difficulty to it?
Well, the hotel staff helped them carry a lot of that stuff. I guess that's the benefit of being a high roller. Nobody questions what you. Hey, John Smith has like 85 bags. Oh, he spends a lot of money in the casino. Help him with the bags. It's crazy.
The other one was his father. Back to your statement though about like clean as a whistle. His father was a fucking lifelong criminal though. His father was in and out of jail and had a bunch of fucking run-ins with the law throughout his life. And his brother ended up being convicted with kiddie porn and shit like that. And then there's another brother that they interviewed a bunch of times where he was like, couldn't believe what happened. He wanted to know where the guns came from. Yeah, he wanted to know where the guns came from, find out where the guns came from. One of the theories is that the guy was selling weapons to the Saudis. But then I think about that. I'm like, really, dude? These guys got to come and buy some guns from some guy in a fucking hotel room?
The Saudis, dude? The Saudis have a ton of money. Heck, we sell them weapons. They don't even have to go to Joe.
They don't have to fucking do it. Maybe this was domestic terrorism. I don't fucking know. And then, he killed himself.
That's the only thing that fits the mass shooter profile.
They always kill themselves?
Yeah. Predominantly.
No, not
every time.
They don't get taken alive too many times.
Not those school shooters, bro. Those school shooters, a lot of times, they take them alive. A
lot of them kill themselves, man. More often than not, they kill themselves.
The one from here got taken alive.
Right.
Well, he did. A lot of them do. The one that went into the church, I think they've caught a few of them. Wasn't the guy in the theater? Didn't they catch the guy in the theater as well, or did he kill himself?
Yeah, the Batman guy, the Joker.
The Joker guy.
Yeah.
They caught that guy.
They do catch him, man. But
yeah, but I'd say probably more kill themselves or get killed.
There was a weird thing too. After supposedly he killed himself, Paddock was this dude's name. There was 3 shots fired by accident in his room, which was kind of peculiar. Some conspiracy theorists will tell you, well, that's when they fucking killed him. When they went in there. It's kind of odd for 3 shots to be fired by accident. You could shoot 1. I could see you shoot 1. But 3? If that's true, that's odd.
it is odd unless it has something to do with the bump stock and the automatic of the weapon. But yeah, it is weird.
But
This is fired by law enforcement.
But dude, at the end of the day, whether he shot himself or they killed him, I don't care. He's dead. That's what matters to me. So it's to me, it's who cares?
Well, it would be important only if you were trying to make sure you never had to hear from this guy again. Right? If you were afraid of what he would say in a trial or whatever. That's the angle, right? For those people that you don't believe, that's what they would say. Oh, that's why. They just wanted to fucking silence him. They didn't want to have to hear his side of the story. I don't know. It's a fucking weird one, that one for me.
I don't think you could explain crazy sometimes, bro. You can explain it.
No. But this guy, he fucking went crazy really fast and really to the fucking. Usually people go crazy gradually, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy went from fucking 0 to 60 like almost instantly.
And he never had any mental issues or anything like that. There's no history.
No, he's a fucking wealthy man. He made his family wealthy.
Yeah.
There's he transferred a bunch of money the day before to like a girlfriend.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was another thing. Hey, you guys heard about what happened to Jack Ma? You guys know who Jack Ma is?
No.
Yeah, Alibaba.
Alibaba. That guy's been disappeared for I think like months now.
Yeah,
Who's that?
They haven't seen him since I think October.
But who is he?
He's the CEO of basically Alibaba is kind of like the Amazon of Asia.
Okay. And he's just went missing?
And he's Chinese, and I guess he said some things about the Chinese government, and now nobody has seen him. This guy's a bazillionaire. He's kind of like in that Jeff Bezos level.
And nobody's seen him. Nobody knows his whereabouts.
I'm pretty sure I know where he is, but yeah, nobody's fucking seen him. He talked some shit about the Chinese government. And they fucking disappeared him, bro.
Yeah, they cut him up into little pieces.
Nah, they don't have to be that discreet about it.
That is true.
Jonas, ask your family because I'm sure they lived through this. In Argentina in the 80s, they were under military rule, and dude, anybody that said anything that they didn't fucking like,
people disappeared.
Oh, bro, so many fucking people. And then the weird part about that, when you talk, I've visited many times. My wife's Argentinian, and then I've talked to certain people who did well during that time. They'll tell you that's all bullshit, dude. They didn't fucking. No, man, that never happened. And then more people will tell you, yeah, dude, they fucking disappeared. Anybody who opposed the government, anybody who fucking protested, anybody who opposed, they fucking made them disappear and took their kids in many cases too and raised them, for like people in the government or in the military that couldn't have kids but wanted kids. There's a bunch of fucking stolen kids in Argentina with not their real parents that they don't even fucking know. There's like groups that find them and reunite them. I forget the name. It's called Las Madres de 4 de Mayo. I don't know what. That they fucking find these kids that were just taken from their real parents that were killed and fucking given to some military people that couldn't have kids and all kind of fucking atrocities like that they did. But at one point, those were conspiracy theories there. That's the point I'm making. And it's fucking sad.
My dad told me about that. It was like martial law. They would like roam the streets. You had to be in your house by like 7 or some shit like that.
Well, we have that now here. We have curfews.
Isn't that crazy? Like you watch those dystopian, what do you call it? Dystopian?
Yeah.
I love those type of movies, right? They're usually futuristic and it's like of a fucked up society, that we've, like Mad Max and what are some other ones?
Logan's Run.
I don't know that one. Which one is that one?
That's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. That's like from the 70s. It's Logan's Run. That anybody past I think it was either 30
or 32.
Yeah, you would die and stuff. And then there was runners. There was no old people.
Children of Men, is that another one?
Children of Men is an excellent one, dude. Where there's nobody else, nobody's getting pregnant, and then they find that one girl is pregnant. That's an excellent one.
How about the one with, I think it's Justin Timberlake, and the poor people don't have time.
Yeah.
Rich people have all the time, and they gamble with their time, and then poor people are just like running to work to get time, which is kind of like fucking real life, actually. You know, you're trading your time for work. But dude, we're kind of almost in one of those fucking movies right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking in some places on lockdown, civil unrest, fucking people unhappy about elections, protests. It's kind of crazy to think about.
It's kind of. You guys remember the movie? I think it was called Idiocracy or something, where the guy he goes to the future or some shit. It's one of the Wilson brothers, and
that's a documentary. Actually, it's a documentary.
That seems more like a documentary each and every day that goes by.
Like they don't know that they have to put water on the crops. They put like Gatorade type products, electrolytes, and shit like that.
So everybody's dumbed down.
I never would have guessed just a couple of years ago that it would have been that we would have been at this point.
Never.
I would have never thought, and that's what scares me about a little bit about the future is that now anything's plausible, right? Anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, where did you go? Tell us where we need to go. You left last year. It's really weird watching everything from the sidelines. So strange. Yeah, it's fucking strange. But
it's strange being here, man.
Where should we go? What's a better spot right now? If you guys had to go somewhere, where would you go? Canada?
Canada sounds really nice. Netherlands, maybe?
A little fucking cold. A little fucking cold in Canada, right?
It seems like every place you would... Maybe Chile?
Oh, no, not Chile.
I don't know about that one.
Spain? Yeah. Spain, no?
Oof. I think some type of island is the move.
Canada sounds nicer.
Yeah, I was thinking Canada.
If you can deal with the cold.
It's close enough where you can just come back whenever.
I heard Canada's building a wall.
No, to keep us out?
And we're gonna pay for it.
That's a good one, Tank.
I don't know. Sometimes I long for being out in the fucking middle of the woods somewhere and like
deserted island.
Aren't you in that already? Just with a pool screen around you.
Kind of, but you know, wouldn't that be interesting to be somewhere without a fucking phone and without fucking news, and you're just kind of living day to day. Hey, I gotta get something to eat today.
It's like being on a cruise. It's like being on a cruise.
I gotta go. No, that's a nightmare.
One thing that I was thinking about the other day when you told me you don't watch a lot of news, and we were talking about the half glass full thing. And I realized that probably another reason that I have a little bit of a more negative view is I do watch a lot of news.
It's depressing.
It's very depressing.
It is, but I almost feel like I need to like see all the data points to make sure that I can compare stories and really try to understand what's happening because there's so much lies.
Yeah, you can't just see one side. You got to see it all.
You got to see all of these different things because you may be able to put together like what the little that is true.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you were in the middle of the woods and all you had to worry about was, I got people that I love around me, I need to go chop some wood, I need to go kill an animal, I need to go fish, and we're going to eat, and then we're going to go to sleep, and then why do we care about all that other shit?
It's yes, what you're talking about is hearkening back to what people would consider a less civilized time, but it is a more simpler time, right?
Is it less civilized? I mean, is it civilized what's happening today?
No.
It was a more simple time.
Definitely simple.
I don't know, man. Maybe we're not meant to be whatever the fuck we are right now with all this bullshit that's going on, and fucking leaders who don't give a fuck about anybody, and all you know. Fuck,
And I think
all we need is food and air.
I think also this climate is dangerous because it also allows for another weird entity to enter. And when I mean entity, you know, the Bush Obama years gave us Trump. What is this mess going to give us? Like, is there going to be like somebody come out from nowhere with some very odd ideas, you know, that comes out of this political field to say, hey, I got the answers? And it isn't what traditionally we would be thinking of.
Are you talking about Kamala Harris?
Whatever.
Society Reject says the vaccine is Myrna vaccine, which is about to normalize DNA modification in medicine and science. So things are about to get real strange real soon here. You know what was weird about the vaccine that I learned or read the other day that I didn't know? That it's supposed to prevent you from getting it, but it not necessarily prevents you from spreading it.
That's right. That makes sense, though.
Well, most vaccines do both.
No.
Most tried, and the ones that we have taken all our lives for other things do both.
I don't see how that's possible. Because think about it. You get a shot so you don't get sick. But let's say that you touch something that has the virus. That's on your hand. If you were to touch somebody that doesn't have the vaccine, you'd give it to them. Right?
I'd have to look at all the other vaccines that we take to see what those effects are.
But a vaccine can't kill like what you would get on yourself and transmit to somebody else.
It's only what's coming from within you.
Exactly. Yeah. I think what's weird is, did you hear about the congressman that got both shots and then way after got sick with corona, supposedly? And the answer that was given to that was, well, it's only 95% effective.
Exactly. It's not 100%.
They're still talking about the modifying of your DNA here.
She said RNA. I think she meant to say DNA, right?
No, I think there's RNA too.
Okay, yeah. What the fuck do I know? I just host this stupid podcast. Yeah, I don't know. What other vaccines do we take?
Polio.
Well,
that's not a. Is that a?
You still get that.
Mumps, measles.
But can you spread those? Can you spread those while being vaccinated?
Chickenpox, smallpox.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about those.
We need a doctor.
I think
anyway, what I read was this: if it was a full-blown vaccine, you wouldn't be able to spread it.
No, the way you reduce the spread is if everybody's vaccinated, then no one could get sick. But it doesn't mean that it's not around still.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that if somehow you touch something, like I said, the best example is you touch something, you have the virus on your hand, you don't get sick.
Okay, but I get
give it to somebody else.
Yes, that is very, yeah, obviously if you pick it up on your hand that somebody had it and touch it and I fucking spread it on, his face, he's going to get it. But what I understood is that you could still somehow carry it in your body and cough and spread it.
Well, the famous Typhoid Mary, right? Typhoid. That person spread it. She never died from it or suffered any symptoms. She was a carrier of it.
She was a carrier, but it didn't affect her.
So that happens too.
But she never got a vaccine and then kept spreading it.
But from what I read is if it was a full-blown, legit fucking vaccine, we wouldn't be able to spread it. Not on the hand thing, on the coughing and other side of it is what I read.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Do your own research. I'm not a doctor. It will help you get okay. The reason you can spread it is because your body will still have to fight the virus. There's no active virus in the vaccine. It's only 70% effective. We should have this person on the show. They could explain all this to us. It will help you get rid of the virus before you get sick and get rid of it a lot quicker. I just don't understand the fucking spreading part of it.
Yeah, I always knew that the way the idea is to vaccinate everybody so they don't individually get sick, but it had nothing to do with it killing the virus in the environment. You know what I meant? The virus is still around.
Yes, but
again, carrying it. I got it.
What I'm saying is, like, you could still carry it, not just like by surface touching and spreading, but like in your system, and then cough it out or spit it out or whatever, and then infect somebody else. So like you get it, you're fighting it, but you can still, while you're fighting it,
give it to somebody else. Yeah.
Yes, where a true vaccine would fucking neutralize it and not allow it to be spread. I don't know. I don't know the fucking details. I just read that and I was fucking like,
do you guys think it was created in a laboratory and it got let out?
Isn't that kind of fucking proven already that it was?
Or did it just happen on its own?
I thought that was already kind of fucking legit that it came from a lab.
Really? I didn't hear that.
I mean, that's what a lot of the speculation is, right?
Speculation, but I don't think anything definitive that's come out.
Yeah, I don't think anything like that will ever be proven.
I think so. Around the time where this shit happened, like March of last year, there was a lot of riots happening in China because of I think like an election was going on, or they wanted to like overthrow the person in charge. There was like a lot of riots in the streets and shit, and then
there was some shit in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, yeah, in Hong Kong.
Yeah. It was like students, I think, that they were like protesting, and like it was getting crazy. And then like a few months or weeks later, this shit just happened.
Yeah, I look at it,
dude, the whistleblower guy.
Yeah, the doctor that first got it, right? Wasn't he like one of the first people to get it? I look at it the other way. If in 1918, without any global travel, really much of any kind of travel, the world wasn't interconnected at all, really, and 70 million people died, I guess it kind of makes sense that something super contagious in a time where we're so connected would be difficult to deal with.
We've had this all through history.
Yeah.
We've had it all through history, so it could happen on its own.
At the end of the day, it's nature, man.
It's nature. Exactly. Whether they released it, I don't know. I don't know. But it's happened all through history, so it's possible that it could have just happened naturally as well.
It could. Nature always corrects itself. But I think that, I don't know, I just think it's just a big coincidence that was happening in Hong Kong.
But it could be a coincidence.
Right. Why are you always trying to argue with somebody's comment, Hialeah?
I'm not arguing with nobody. I agree a lot with you guys. I just have that perception already built in. That stigma. I have the stigma. I agree with a lot of this.
No, you don't.
I'm
sorry to have to call you out.
I agree that was a fumble.
Only on the football.
Only on the football stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that we can change your mind so fucking easy on that. We're like, yeah, but Baker Mayfield's playing pretty fucking good. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. All right, fucking Derrick Henry's running really good. We present facts there, and you're like, yep. Here we're like, we throw them at you. You're like 0%. Next topic.
I have a stigma. There's a stigma associated with me.
But why? You become Terrell Owens. Next question.
Next topic.
Why do you have that stigma?
I don't know.
Why are some people predisposed one way or the other?
The thing is, dude, when I was young, bro,
And you like comic books, bro. You like crazy shit.
It's
maybe you get enough of it there.
I do, but I don't know. It's just the way I'm wired right now.
Well, you're what is that state? The show me state?
Oklahoma, was it?
Something like that. I don't know.
Is
Whatever
it-
it is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the show me state. It's like Oklahoma, I think.
Oh yeah,
It's like their state logo or logo.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So you're kind of like me. I'm the same way. Show me the money. Show me the proof. Don't tell me all these theories and possibilities. I could sit here and come up with all kinds of shit.
It's like
Give me the hard evidence.
I'm on this. I did this show last week, right? And this guy was bringing up aliens in Egypt and that they would draw the hieroglyphics and all this. And he was like, "Oh, I can't wait! I'm gonna come back next week and I'm gonna show you this, and this." And you still don't believe they saw aliens? Look, they got aliens on the freaking inside the freaking pyramids. And no,
Chariots of the gods.
yeah, and no, I don't believe they freaking saw aliens, bro. That's like saying some people in the future are gonna come here and they're gonna go, "Oh shit, look at this! Look at what they made! It's fucking ET. They saw aliens." Dude, people have had imaginations forever. You don't think they had imaginations and try to answer their questions, and that was what they answered it with? It doesn't mean they actually saw it.
But it doesn't mean that they didn't.
To you, to me.
Right.
Well, I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm in the middle. You know, the bump's talking about the show me state, show me the hard evidence. But a lot of these things are things that we don't
inconclusive.
We don't have that hard evidence one way or the other. It's kind of like when I tell you, man, it's fucked up that they're doing this to Trump, and then people are like, it's fucked up. But we could really be in the fucking middle in this whole thing. We could kind of see things either way. You're almost being like left wing, right wing with your conspiracy theories,
dude. If
far right, far left.
You know how I know they didn't see him? Because we don't see him today, dude. Okay.
Well, you don't see him.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm saying I haven't seen him either. I've never seen a UFO. Okay. I've seen falling. What do they call those? Falling stars and shit like that. But that's not. I cannot say nobody on the fucking planet Earth has ever, because I'm not everybody on the whole planet Earth. So I can't. Fucking Christopher Columbus saw UFOs. Okay. That's recorded. Was it Columbus? No, my bad. Washington. Was it Washington or Columbus? One of those two fuckers.
So then I guess there's no doubt that we have aliens.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's inconclusive evidence.
I would say at best in many of these scenarios it is inconclusive.
But when it's inconclusive, the play stands, and then that becomes what happened, right? In a box score, so to speak, right? In a box score of
sports,
society.
yeah.
Or in real life too, when we have to make a call, right? No, there's no UFO. No, they had to, in JFK, they had to make a determination, right? This is what happened, and that's it. We're not gonna, like, that case is closed, right? They're not actively investigating the JFK assassination.
I don't
right?
No,
I don't believe so.
I don't. believe
So like that Bills Colts game, a call was made, and that's it. The game kept going.
Right.
But to some people, they still
like
have
the baseball game too.
People still have doubt.
That's why
We're still investigating it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why this persists, because
there's other people that don't have doubt.
But I do believe that
they're not awake yet. Those people.
What I said was,
it's not as fun.
You could look at almost any situation and then that you don't know anything about and make conclusions in any direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could find evidence to support your narrative in any scenario almost. But the fair thing is to talk about both sides, which is why I have Hialeah on the show, so he can give us that other side. Well, it's good. It would be boring if everybody was like, yeah, fucking 100% aliens, 100%.
It would be boring. It would be boring.
Just like life.
Yeah.
It would be boring if we were all, fucking this should be this way, should be this way, should be this way, Yeah. Those were Nazis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically. This way or fucking no way.
This is the way.
This or a fucking Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Exactly. So fucking WandaVision, thumbs down.
I'm not getting. It was hard to watch. It was hard
He's
to
not
watch.
knocking it.
That's
I'm
a
not
thumbs
knocking
down
it.
to
But
me,
for
dude.
me, I think I could see almost where it's going, and there's stuff going on behind the scenes. But these first 2 episodes, it's like watching. I like the old I Love Lucy shows. I love all that. And dude, it was set kind of along those lines, but bro, it's just hard to watch because it was like, watch it.
You're breaking my heart, Society's
Thank you.
Rejects. You're
Thank
breaking
you.
my heart. I liked all the shit you were talking about. Now I'm not so sure about you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Yeah, he tries to be rational. That's good. We got to be rational, you know. But I kind of I like to live in that. I like to live in that kind of like my political. I like to live in that little middle world where I could be like, oh, what are you doing over there? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, look at that. They have this. Oh, they have this over there. Oh, you're not. That's not 100%.
I like that as well. I like that as well. I like to see both sides.
Really? Because the numbers say here 0%, 0%,
The
5%, and then 20. 20 is like an all-time high on JFK, which like almost everybody knows it wasn't just him. So you're lucky I'm not debating you.
He just told you that everybody thinks, except for you, that JFK.
I do believe in the JFK one, that it wasn't hit
You're
by
the only guy out of everybody.
Well, he gave us a 20% on that, so he was fucking out there on that one. Woo!
He was riding the rail, man.
All right, let's wrap it up. It's been 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I just want to ask one question. I'll go around, and I'm gonna ask, what is your favorite? Maybe this doesn't mean that you believe in it 100%. This doesn't mean that whatever. But what is your favorite conspiracy theory and why? Tank, you want to start first?
Yeah, I'll go 9/11. I just think it's a lot of things, more realistic things that point towards it being an inside job. Like aliens is cool and all, but it just doesn't seem real. You know, it's very hard for it to be real for me, at least.
It's out of this world.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. Yeah, 9/11, there's a lot of fucking moving parts and little fucking scenarios here, there. It was a fucking global thing, really, you know. Even in the US, it was like you got the Pentagon, the fucking New York, the Flight 93, Saddam Hussein, wars, Bush, Bin Laden, you know, a lot of little fucking things turning everywhere. That's a good one.
Mandela.
That is not one of your favorites, and that's a good one, actually.
Oh no, I was just reading her comment.
Oh, Mandela effect, because it completely turned my life upside down. Well, I like the Mandela effect, but this next guy I'm gonna ask, he doesn't like it. What is your favorite, Hialeah?
Mine is Kennedy. That's the one that I do believe there was conspiracy in that one, and it was not a one-man job. I think there was a lot more to it. That's the one that I believe.
All right. Yeah, Kennedy's fucking all-time classic, right? It's like the fucking mother, the fucking father of fucking conspiracies, probably. Yeah. Like, what's the conspiracy theory before that one? Do we even know?
Maybe Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor.
Pyramids.
Didn't we know?
Lincoln?
Roswell?
No,
Lincoln?
Yeah, Roswell was right around a few years before that, right? Wasn't it the 50s?
Yeah.
Well, what's the Lincoln conspiracy?
The Lincoln conspiracy?
That John Wilkes Booth didn't actually go to jail. That it was somebody like
he didn't die in the barn.
That he didn't live in a log cabin?
Yeah.
That he wasn't Honest Abe.
Bum, what's your favorite?
Well, for me, it's aliens, because I think that is out of all these conspiracy, it's consequential to so many different things, right? If it happens to be true, it shakes the foundations of everything that we've ever known, whether it's religion, science. You know, to me, that one is pretty amazing if it's true.
I gotta tell you, man, we're in agreement with that one, because I do love those ones that you guys mentioned too. But in the, like, if you look big picture thing, like, yeah, maybe some fucking dudes in the government did some fucking shady shit. You know, there's people in
That's
government,
almost expected.
and people are shady by nature,
Yeah.
probably.
Right. It's almost expected.
Yeah.
But fucking aliens, dude, like, we don't control that. We can't. I mean, we could fucking conjure them probably, but like, if there was and they did come and they do come, or they, you know, that would be like,
Dude, if
it would change the ball game, right?
If aliens were true, bro, everything would be upside down, dude. That would be crazy.
Okay, so you're admitting what I asked you earlier, that you said no now.
No, if it's true, it will be crazy. I don't think it's true. But
Well, dude, if I rewind the tapes here in the court of law, I said, excuse me, I'm speaking, Mr. President. If I said, dude, wouldn't you fucking fall off your rocker over there in Hialeah if the fucking aliens were true? And you were like, no, it wouldn't be that bad. Well, I don't know, dude. I'm pretty, you know, whatever, man. That's pretty cool. Pretty fucking cool, but, you know, I don't know. It would fucking knock you off your fucking rocker over there with your dominoes in Hialeah.
Of course it would. But I wouldn't be like, you know, oh man, I was wrong. I'll be like, I'd be freaking out just as much as anybody.
No,
dude.
I didn't say. It's obvious that you'd be wrong, but it would be like fucking. Holy shit!
Holy shit! Exactly. It's like let's say mine was the Kennedy. I brought up Kennedy. If it was brought up, it was a conspiracy. It was freaking the Cubans and the mob, and they killed them. Nobody's life changes.
And you would almost say, yeah, of course the fucking Cubans killed him. Yes, that makes sense.
But if aliens were all of a sudden, you remember the movie Signs? I adore that.
I love that movie.
I freaking love that fucking movie. Hell yeah, dude! I'll be like one of those kids looking at the thing. Muévense, muchachos, muévense, and Joaquin Phoenix. Muévense, muchachos, and all of a sudden the alien walks by. Oh fuck me!
Yes.
Can you imagine the podcast later this year in June when they fucking admit to us that there's fucking aliens and that we have a fucking base on Mars?
Okay, they better walk out the alien and show us that.
Like, you want to fucking have him on as a guest? That's the only way.
Yes, he needs to be on every freaking week, every night news. He needs to be on Conan. He needs to be on all that shit.
Can you imagine if fucking Joe Rogan sits down with fucking?
He needs to be on Rogan.
He goes on Rogan and he's like, "Oh, what do you guys do over there?"
Smoke this joint.
Yeah, here you go. Have you ever done DMT or whatever? And he gives him some whiskey, and then he's like, "What do you guys do?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, we just fucking watch. This is like a comedy. We watch what you guys do. It's like, it's one of our shows that we have."
The Simpsons.
Trump has been great this season. He's been fucking phenomenal. Like, we didn't see that coming, dude. That guy's crazy, bro. Some of the shit he does, and did you see what they did in Seattle? Oh my God, they made a little country inside another country, and they didn't want borders around the U.S., but the first thing they did was make borders around their city, and they don't want guns, but all those dudes had guns there, and oh my God, it's fucking. And did you see the guys who stormed the Capitol? The guy with the horns and the lady who got maced in the face? That would be.
You can't make this shit up, bro. You cannot make it up.
It's unfortunate.
Look, I know people take it seriously, the insurrection and all that, but when I look at the insurrectors or whatever the fuck you call them, those guys are just buffoons, dude. They're just fucking like dumbasses, dude, who were taking selfies with fucking people there, and like, I don't know, they're just idiots, dude. I don't that if that's the real insurrection, we're okay. We're still okay. That'd be easy to, you know, they went home when the curfew started, you know, like, that wasn't an insurrection, I don't think, dude. If it'd be fucking.
It was a mob.
But is it the beginning or the end?
That's yet to be determined.
Is
It's
there-
all about
is-
pushing
is
the
there gonna
envelope,
be-
right?
Right. Is there going to be another version of that that's going to get your attention, and you're going to say, "Oh, wait a minute, now this is bad," or does it die with the buffoons, and we're like, "Oh, a little blip on the radar," right? Nothing big.
I don't think it does.
I don't think so either.
Things tend to escalate, right? Usually, like, hey, we got this far, we did this, we did that. Let's try this, let's try that.
And I think those people were emboldened by what was happening all summer, man. In the chop and some of that other crap. If those people didn't get their ass kicked and, dispersed and, controlled by authorities, then they said, you know what, we're just going to try it on our side.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you there, man. I don't know where we're headed. It seems like we're on a fucked up path.
Slippery slope right now.
You know what it feels like to me? Like all those shows or movies that I used to see that seemed so impossible, now they don't seem so impossible anymore. Dystopian movies or, whatever. Aside from The Walking Dead and zombies, right now I'm putting that one to aside, but be careful, that may change. But everything else, pandemics, civil unrest,
Contagion.
the foundations of our society's crumbling, us not able to get anything done correctly. I mean, it now it's shocking to believe, but now some of those movies are not that crazy.
Well, I have a friend that I've never really heard this. Well, maybe I have, but he's one of the first people that I hear say it repeatedly. He's like, dude, movies and TV shows, do you notice how we see things in movies and TV shows over and over again, and then eventually that shit happens? Whether it be technology or shit like Contagion, for example, or other shows and movies, and that shit ends up happening in real life. And that's like, it's almost like a conspiracy theory, right? Like, oh, this is just like a preview of what's fucking gonna happen.
But a lot of it isn't so far-fetched either, though. It's things that are plausible. The Contagion one was plausible because it's happened before all through history. It's just put it in modern times and how it would be So it's if it's plausible. Like,
yeah. Star Trek's a good one.
Yeah.
You got a lot of Star Trek shit that fucking communicator.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And my communicator says it's time to go, guys.
Yeah. Man, all right. Society Rejects, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Good feedback there. Tell us about your UFO story next time. We'd love to hear it. And